Hello and welcome to the Carl Jackson Show, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. It is Thursday, September 5th. Lots of news out there. What does DEI and the Kamala Harris campaign have in common? They're both fading. All right, and let's hope it remains that way. That's going to be the major topic today on our podcast. But I've got all sorts of news that I want to bring to you first. But again, I think there's more and more evidence that Kamala Harris is fading, that the bloom is off the rose. Is that what they say, Gabe? Is that what the old wise men like yourself say? The bloom is off the rose. I think people are starting to understand who Kamala Harris is. However, I still don't believe that we should take her lightly. I don't believe she's a bright lady, but she's got the Democratic machine behind her. They will do whatever it takes to win, including what we're seeing today. You guys may have heard the news. And by the way, we got some new news on the shooting that occurred in Georgia at Appalachian High School. Apparently the latest breaking news is apparently the father has been arrested. The mother of the young man was literally a basket case, in and out of prison, in and out of jail for decades, apparently. So there's a reason behind the madness. His mother was in a drugs, crime, you name it, recently arrested even this year. So there's a lot of backstory. FBI visited this young man and his father last year, conducted some sort of interview. So we'll share that information with you as well. But it is absolutely insane. But let me go to this. And as a matter of fact, I want to show you evidence piece. I think this is number one. This will be 3B, Gabe. This is Merrick Garland, saying that Russia is trying to discourage U.S. Funding for Ukraine. Carl, what does this have to do with DEI? What does this have to do with the Kamala Harris campaign? Guys, I'm telling you that, listen, and I'm sure this isn't the first place that you're hearing it, but if you've listened to any type of talk radio, if you're watching the national polls, Trump is doing better at this point in time in 2024 than he was in 2020, than he was in 2016. Now, I do realize that we're living in different times. I do realize that after the COVID, lockdowns and the way that the Democrats were able to use the COVID lockdowns in order to favor themselves in elections, it made it a lot tougher to beat them. However, I think red states, for the most part, our elections are much better than they were. Georgia being one that has reformed their laws. Many states have reformed their laws. So if we can listen, there's always going to be some type of cheating, but here's what you need to understand. If you show up and if we show up in large numbers, we can win. So you have to keep that in mind. But what we're starting to see, Kamala Harris is getting nervous. One of the issues, one of the reasons why I can tell is, let me take you to this story. I'm going to kind of do a Jackson's 5, but I'm going to intertwine them into the story. So here's the deal. Where is it? Actually, I may have this printed out. Right now, we were actually supposed to have a guest. I'm just being real with you. But someone, I won't say any names, Tony, did not confirm the guest. So I threw a show together for you. But the good news is there's a lot of good news out there. And so we're going to go through this together. So I want to make sure that I give you the right information here, because I do have in my formally fingerprinted fingertips this, according to the Daily Wire. ABC News releases rules for Trump-Harris debate. Team Kamala claims she's disadvantaged by the format. But here's the deal. Kamala Harris has agreed to the format. She's agreed that there's not going to be any need, basically, for to change the rules of the debate. They're going to stick with the original rules that Trump agreed to with Biden, as well they should. I don't feel like Kamala Harris deserves any types of favors whatsoever. She did not win a single primary vote, so they should stick with those rules. I'm trying to find the headline. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the headline, but basically the bottom line is that Kamala Harris has agreed. Here it is. Harris agrees to muted mics in ABC News debate against Trump. Now, most people believe that what Kamala Harris was going to do is what she did in 2020 in the debate with Mike Pence. Excuse me, I'm talking. I mean, that's what they believe she was going to do. And I do think she was going to do some of that. But I think she was just going to try to trip Trump up to the best of her ability, get underneath Trump's skin, lie, and try to get him to react to her. And apparently, listen, it's going to be a very difficult. It's going to be harder for Kamala Harris in the debate, but guys, she's going to be up to par. I believe. I don't think she's going to be great by any stretch of the imagination. But what I don't want to do is say that she's going to be so horrible in the debate that, she does okay. And then we're like, oh, not so bad. I'm hoping this chick tanks. So I want Trump to take her seriously. I think we should take her seriously. And here's the way, I'll just say this real quick. Here's the way that I think Trump should handle it, in my opinion. And Gabe, tell me what you think about this. But I believe that what Trump should do is literally be like, okay, here's the deal. When they ask him a question, if they try to, because it's, what is it, ABC? So, it's going to be 3-on-1 again. All right. So when they ask Trump a question, I think he should try to make sure that he focuses and direct the question to if they try to, attack him, hopefully they'll be fair. Honestly, I got to give Dana Bash credit. Last time in that debate, they were fair. What was it? Dana Bash and Jake Tapper, I believe. But they were fair, being liberals. They just asked the question. They let Biden fall. I almost think they were a part of that too, honestly. But I think they're going to try to save Kamala Harris. So Trump needs to answer the question and get out the way and say, this is what I did. This is what I would do regarding that particular topic. But I'm curious what Kamala would do in that topic. I would literally cede some of my time to her. That would throw her off, and that will cause her to go into a word salad spin. I honestly believe that. But here, the part of the reason why that the bloom is off the rose for the Kamala Harris campaign is because she is agreeing to the terms of the debate. There was news just as recently as a couple of days ago that she might pull out of the debate, or a report. I don't know how accurate it was, but that was percolating out there. Now, Hat Tip Daily Wire, ABC News released the rules on Wednesday that both Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump and Democrat presidential nominee Kamala Harris have agreed to ahead of next week's debate. So ABC News said that Tuesday's debate, moderated by World News Tonight anchor David Muir and Prime anchor Lindsay Davis, will implement the rules originally agreed upon in May when Trump was going to face President Joe Biden. Here's the rules. No opening statements. Closing statements will be 2 minutes per candidate. I don't like that part. I think there should be an opening. Statement. And the reason why I think the reason why Biden would have wanted that is because his team probably thought he would need to wind up, get his blood flowing, circulating through his veins. But I would prefer an opening statement, but that's fine. Candidates will stand behind podiums for the duration of the debate. Prompts or pre-written notes are not allowed on stage. Note, so you can bet your bottom dollar. Listen, I don't think she's a bright person, but she is trained in law. So there are some skills and techniques that come along with that. So you can bet she's going to be trained up on that. But that's why I think Trump has to throw her off and get her to answer questions and not just go on the attack. No topics or questions will be shared in advance with campaigns or candidates. Let's hope that's true. All right. Candidates will be given a pen, a pad of paper, and a bottle of water. Candidates will have 2-minute answers to questions, 2-minute rebuttals, and 1 extra minute for follow-ups, clarifications, or responses. Okay. This is where I think Trump can really trip Kamala Harris up. I really do believe that. All right. Give her 2 minutes to explain a position. Don't let her get you, don't let her hook you into any type of unnecessary debate. Let her explain her position. Candidates' microphones will be live only for the candidate whose turn it is to speak, and muted when the time belongs to another candidate. Candidates will not be permitted to ask questions of each other. Great. That one. Okay. You know what? That's fine. So instead of asking her the question, I would pose the question to David Muir and to to Lindsay Davis so that the audience hears it, and perhaps it puts pressure on the moderators. Here's what I did. Here's what the Biden-Harris ticket did to destroy this policy, to destroy this nation. David, Lindsay, I wonder what her answer will be. You know what I'm saying? Throw the onus back on the moderator. So that's how you handle that. Campaign staff may not interact with candidates during commercial breaks. Moderators will seek to enforce timing agreements and ensure a civilized discussion. There will be no audience in the room. Personally, I prefer no audience in the room. I know I'm old. I'm probably old school with this. Some of you guys may not like that. I prefer the audience in the room. But the very fact that Kamala Harris is willing to debate tells me this. It tells me that this high that their campaign got, with all the media attention, with all the media buzz, it's wearing off. So Kamala Harris knows that she has to take the debate. And the word is, we all knew this. Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania was her best choice. All right. Now, let me show you this real quick. Pull that up. All right. So let me go to Real Clear Politics. Trump Harris tied in Pennsylvania. If you're going by the Real Clear Politics average, 47.2 to 47.2. That does not bode well for Kamala Harris. Now, they're both below that 50% mark too, right? So there's some wiggle room. That means people are going to be breaking. I suspect that they will end up breaking for Trump. It was a huge mistake on her part. And we said this the day it happened. It was a huge mistake on her part, in my opinion, to pick Tim Walz. Especially, I mean, first off, who knew the guy? You know what I mean? And then when you started to get to know the guy and found out that he was one of the main culprits of the COVID lockdowns and treating his citizens so badly, like, man, this is just crazy. I mean, this is a guy that let Minneapolis burn while he's the governor of Minnesota, let a police station just let the rioters, the BLM rioters, Antifa rioters just take it over. Like, why would you do that? But see, Kamala Harris was so quick. She wanted somebody that would be subservient, in my opinion. Josh Shapiro, really smart. He's a lefty. Let's be real about this. But he was the best pick for her because he's a popular governor in the state of Pennsylvania. But she wanted somebody that was going to be wimpy, somebody that was going to bow down to her. And we can see that Tim Walz is kind of a lapdog for her. He's got his own issues. We don't need to go over those tonight, but we'll save that for another day. But you guys know him. It's been reported everywhere. The guy is just a habitual liar, so much so that even his family members are coming out. And I know it is always nasty when you see family members. That nobody likes to see that, but more and more of his family members are coming out with Trump Vance tickets and all this. But it was just a bad pick. It was a bad pick. And I think I recall Trump that day saying, woo, we're kind of relieved. You know, I'm paraphrasing, that she picked this guy, Walz, that has been a disaster. This guy that is guilty of stolen valor. This guy that has lied about everything, including being a coach. He was an assistant coach until he was fired, and I forget why he was fired. So he had to quit being an assistant coach. But anyway, just absolutely insane. So Kamala Harris agrees to this debate. Sure sign that her campaign is not doing well. She's also going out and she's campaigning in states that she shouldn't be worried about. New Hampshire. I mean, Bernie Sanders territory. Come on, man. Come on. All right. So that isn't to say, right, that she's going to lose, but that's to say that things are growing very uncomfortable. All right. Now, let me go back to this. I told you I would play this for you. This is another reason, this new Russiagate. Before we get to that, though, I want to remind you that today's show is brought to you in part by Priority Gold. Economists are warning that massive tax hikes could devastate your IRA or your 401k account as the stock market braces for impact. With inflation on the rise and global uncertainty looming, it's clear why central banks and savvy Americans are turning to gold. In times like this, Proverbs 21:20 reminds us to preserve what we built. Right now, that wisdom points us towards gold. If you haven't had your eye on gold, it's time to make it a priority. My name is Carl Jackson, and I am urging you to call my friends at Priority Gold to find out how they can help you diversify your savings with physical gold and silver. You can call 1-800-405-GOLD or visit PriorityGold.com/golden for a free gold info guide. Plus, see if you qualify for free shipping and storage. Act now to get your portfolio working for you while the market is golden. Again, call 1-800-405-GOLD to speak with a gold specialist or visit PriorityGold.com 1-800-405-golden to learn more. Again, that number, 1-800-405-GOLD. All right, Gabe, so we're going to go to 3B. This is Merrick Garland talking about Russia trying to discourage U.S. funding for Ukraine. I'll give you a little bit of the backdrop of this story. There are some conservative influencers that are involved in this. But guys, and listen, I understand exactly what the left is